All right, guys. Nick's going to take a few questions here. We asked him to come up here after a great 5-round fight. We'll start with Kevin Iole.
Hey, Nick. First of all, any serious injury other than the stitches? Did you have any broken bones or anything?
No, but before I had a little injury before the fight with my left arm. I had to get a cortisone shot, and I stopped throwing punches like about 2 weeks before the fight. I've never done that. I didn't really throw punches in the warm-up last couple of days. I didn't cut weight with throwing punches, so I wasn't in gear to throw punches, and I knew I was in big trouble. That's why you see me go for the takedown, because I know I could be more effective by going top one time. And I figured, maybe he's not expecting me to go on top real quick, so I might just land that, and I could do something significant. But I think all the power shots that were thrown, like punching-wise, I could see everything coming that he hit me with. Popped me real quick with the jab. Of course, I think he's right-handed, so he's got a little bit of power on that jab if he throws it right. And opened up a little cut here under my eye. And then I barely got grazed with that little whip kick, the one that I think he was throwing that in a fight with Weidman. But I barely got grazed with that one. I think that's what did me up top a little bit. But other than that, I was moving forward best I could without having my rhythm together like I have in previous fights. Just had a little issues with my trainer. As far as that goes, though, but with my punching and my arm here, it was actually locking up on me, and I couldn't punch with it. When I came out to fight, it wasn't an issue, but I was worried that it was going to be because every time I throw a punch in the last couple of days, it would lock up and it would stick. So here's my arm straight, like that, and then here's how it would stick, like this. And I was like, what the hell is going on? So I went and saw Anderson's doctor that fixed his leg. Someone said, I think Reed set me up with, someone set me up with Anderson's doctor. And I went in there and saw him, and they took an x-ray. I said, yeah, I think maybe you have some bone spur, like some bone fragments in there or something. And I'm like, it feels like I got some tendons caught up and I can't straighten it. And it feels like if I try to punch through that, it's going to tear something and swell up. So I didn't want to punch, or whatever it was going to be. I could tell that last time I tried to punch through it, I was like, ooh, and so I knew it was going to probably swell up, so I had to wait. I couldn't really throw my punches until the fight, because I figured if it was going to tear something or pull something, I'd have to just get through it in the fight. I don't want to do it before the fight, have it swell up on me and go out there with nothing. So.
Nick, two questions then. Will you need surgery on it? Did Dr. Saunders tell you that? And then secondly, once you get recovered, do you still want to fight? Do you want to come back? And what kind of plan would you have about who you would want to fight given what's happened in the last couple of fights?
I don't know much about surgeries and arm surgeries. That's all I really heard out of your question there about the arm stuff. But, yeah, But yeah, he said that we could go in there and do surgery and take something out of there and something like that. But I haven't really looked into too much of doing. I'm not really, into having surgeries. So I don't know. We'll have to see about that. If I'm not punching anybody, then why do I need surgery?
Nick, obviously, you were very respectful of Anderson Silva all week long and praising him as a fighter. It seemed like he was very hesitant to engage you tonight, though. Were you disappointed at all in what seemed like kind of a lack of a willingness to want to come forward and put on the fight it seemed like you wanted to put on?
Yeah, I kind of lose my shit in there when people do that, so I think he probably knows that. Yeah, but I could see his punches coming a mile away. The more he punched, the more he was gonna end up with the shit end of the stick, so he wasn't gonna punch or anything. Not that he worries about punching in all his fights. What I watched, But I really think I come in with a straight right to the body, and I was really gonna put it together off of that. He grabbed my head and I started pumping elbows in. I haven't watched the fight, but I remember every time I did throw a straight right to the body, a straight left to the body. I think it was. I was switching around a little bit. Either way, as soon as I throw that straight to the body, he was going to grab my head, and I broke out of there and started hitting him with elbows and punches. So, that would have worked out for me, but I was hesitant to do that on my way out to the fight. Usually my trainer's like, he's screaming at me, sometimes I'm like, why are you like, you know, it's a bad idea. But then I realized, you know, man, it was probably a good idea because I would have been, you know, having to throw something for him, and I would have trained that. I would have trained those combinations in this last couple of weeks here. I think I could have been more successful with that straight right to the body, coming back with the left hook, or you know, when I was switching it up. So either way, straight right, come back with the hook, because he's going to try to grab my head, and I was going to win, get the better of that situation every time, in my opinion. And you know, there's a couple things I regret, like you know, whipping kicks out there and you know, fooling around the first round, because I'm sure the judges don't like that. I don't know I don't know how people feel about it either. I don't even know how I feel about it when I don't watch the fight. I don't know if people were like, yeah, I had you on these rounds. I don't know what the judges are thinking, or I know how I feel at the end of the fight. I'm like, well, you know, I don't know what the judges are thinking, but I'm like, I definitely pushed forward the whole time, so I don't know. I don't know how they judge fights sometimes, you know, because nowadays they're adding scoring, and sometimes they go like, oh, damage, and sometimes they go, oh, this guy did more work. You know, it's like a whole new ball game right now in this last couple of years. But I've been in here for at least 12 years or so, where it's a whole different story. That's why I was even spouting off. For some reason, I always spout off about Sean Shirk because, you know, I think I got the takedown in that fight, got more punches and moved around. But he worked harder and threw a lot. And they're like, oh, well, the judges liked that because he, you know, kind of like right in front of your face. I'm like, that's all I did. It was like, right, nothing hit me. I was like, hey. And, you know, I think I could have won that fight. I think I did win that fight, but same with a lot of fights. But I get real confused on how to win a fight out here initially. And then nowadays, you know, you can see when you watch that they're counting strikes and doing all that stuff. So I don't know what was what until I see it. I don't know how many punches were thrown, landed, or what. But I just know that, you know, I could see this guy's punches. He didn't, you know, I don't think he could have finished me. I think if anybody was going to finish anybody, it was going to be me finishing him. But the thing is like, I just, you know, the only way he's going to do a finish on me is if I come in doing something stupid. So, you know, on account of that, I think I stayed back a little bit more than I should have. And, you know, on account of not having my trainer help me put my punches together, I think I know he's sitting at home going, see, that's because I wasn't there. You know, and it's like, yeah, I know. I pretty much you know, saw myself sitting here, you know, with that mindset. Like, what's my trainer thinking right now? Because he's, you know, it's like, see what happens. You didn't bring me along, you know. But you know, I love my trainer, and it's just things have been rough. You know, when you get older and real money starts coming out into this, it's like it's hard to work these things out and organize these things. You know, but I was lucky to have a you know, an excellent team behind me. My agent Lloyd Pearson, and you know, Cesar Gracie. He always comes through for me no matter what. And you know, Lloyd and James and the whole Ballinger group thing. They really, you know, came through. My friend Frank Hurley. You know, I was running around out here one day. I met him and put me through with the right people and. That I met on my own. You know, I couldn't really, people were trying to pitch different management teams towards me, and I'm like, I pretty much need to do this on my own. But I was more than happy with the deal we got and how it worked out and the things I learned, and I'm really appreciative of all the people that did stand, all the, you know, the new people that were standing by me and what I had to work with. I really appreciate it. So, yeah.
Nick, I know that it's still fresh right now. And you've got some thinking to do, but you know, you've got kind of a love-hate relationship with this sport. As you sit there right now, do you feel like this is something that you want to do again, or you know, with all the difficulties you had and all the struggles to get here, do you feel like maybe it's not for you?
Yeah, no, you know, it's just really crazy, you know, coming out here and I'm kind of tired of being a loser, you know. I've been still here, but I was losing all these fights. It's just, you know, I'm doing well though. Versus, I mean, as far as this being a job, but I mean, versus the other guys that are out here. So yeah, I'm happy to, you know, I guess it's, you know, I put on a show for these fans. So I don't know what to make of it right now. But I don't know what people think either. I don't know how you guys saw the fight. I don't know if you guys are sitting here like, yeah, he thinks he won. Or how stupid. You know what I mean? Like, how does he think he won? I'm like, well, it's one thing, like, you sit there and you try to get a guy on the scorecards, you try to get the knockout, You win like that, you win with the knockout. I just never try to beat somebody on the scorecards. It's never happened. It's just not in me, I don't think. And I'm real quick to just criticize somebody for even going there. I'm like, are you doing this really? Are you really gonna not try and finish this fight and do this fight? You're gonna do another fight where it's moving around? I have a lot of respect. You see me out here and try to intimidate this dude leading up to the fight or anything like that. Maybe that could have won me the fight. He stayed the hell away from me the first round. When I came out, flipped the switch on him and started saying, I'm not coming out to touch gloves with anybody. I've been shake hands before the fight. Shit, as long as everybody's straight up, then everybody's straight up. Nobody's stepping out of line. We shake hands before the fight too. Of course, if somebody steps out of line, we ain't shaking hands until after the fight. So, bump a fist or nothing. Why am I do that? Is it gonna make the fans happy? No. It's gonna make Dana White happy? No. It ain't gonna make me happy either if I lose the fight. So it's just a different mentality about fighting sometimes, I think.
We'll take one more from Ariel.
Nick, the last time we were in this setting at a post-fight press conference, it was in Montreal after the GSP fight, and you talked about some of the issues that you were having outside of fighting and trying to get your life in order. If this is the last time you fight again, do you feel a lot more comfortable? Do you feel like things are more settled around you?
Yeah, well, I've left options open for myself best I could, on account of doing this. So I've invested a lot more than a lot of people. That I know it's hard to understand for a lot of people that I've done something like that. I'd like to say hard work pays off on one end. On the other end, I look like shit out here fighting. And when they put those clips together, they're not going to show none of my punches. They're not going to show any of them. They're going to find whatever they can find that happened out there on the other end of it, and they're going to throw that up. And it's not good to see. It doesn't feel good to see that. It doesn't feel good to try to argue with somebody that thinks has their opinion. And I'm just having to avoid too many arguments. I'm like, so I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, man, hopefully I wish I could just fall off. People stop talking about me, but I feel like that's just not happening. I don't know if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just that's how it seems from my end, but I can't tell you.
Thank you, Nick. Thanks, everybody.